folks. It's so good to see you again, and we're back.
Yes, we are.
I've always wanted to say that.
We're back.
I've probably said it like by myself in the car. Okay. And we're back.
And we're back. Yes.
Picking up the kids, and we're back.
And who do we have, Ursula?
Right now we have myself, Ursala Hauser. We have Rebecca Hanley.
In the house.
We have Melisa Keller.
Hello, Keller.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
And we have Casey Corum.
That's right. Palmdale.
Palmdale High. We've been talking about
Lopes
this.
in the house.
We've all
Falcons.
grown up in the same, in Lancaster, or the AV as we would say it, Antelope Valley.
Yes.
Yes. So we've all gone to different high schools. I've known Casey for a very long time.
We have.
He is older. We've established that fact. But listen, we have a couple questions for you guys, okay?
All right.
So we want to get to know, one of the things, Casey, if we start with you first.
Sure.
You know, I on Instagram, I see you. You are everywhere. Like anytime there's a worship set, it seems like in a different city, you are there.
Yep.
But you
Can
didn't.
be.
But you didn't always. You weren't always that. Like, tell me a little bit about, because you used to. This is going back in youth group. You were a worship leader. We had God Rock at the time.
Wow.
And Casey had very long, luscious red hair.
I did. Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Yep.
My husband remembers you on the guitar, like, you know, doing the head thing,
guitar head
you know,
thing.
with the hair, and that was the thing back then. But again, what do you do when we see you on Instagram, when we see these posts? You don't say a whole lot. There's just always Casey's in the background, and you're playing.
Lurking in the background,
Yeah.
yes. I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of the Instagram stuff is a blend of, I suppose, a number of different things. But one of the main things that I think lands on Instagram is my work with Vineyard Worship,
Okay.
which is, my title these days is Director of Production and A&R.
Yeah. And how long have you been working with the Vineyard?
Well, I started working with, I came to faith at the Desert Vineyard in high school. And then I helped plant the Boise Vineyard.
Yeah, that's right.
In the late 80s, early 90s, which eventually led to me being on staff, started writing songs. I had a whole background in production and music prior to coming to faith, and started writing worship songs instead of other sorts of songs.
Yeah.
And eventually, cutting a lot of things out of the story,
Sure.
I ended up getting some songs published with Vineyard, and that turned into being on records and producing records, and that led to running the creative side of the company for a number of years.
Yeah.
So it's ebbed and flowed through the years what it is, but I'm kind of back to doing that. I look after songwriters and projects for the most part. At the inception, actually, Melisa and I work together quite a bit on the project side of things, but I'm more on the creation side of things. And she, and then at some point, we do a handoff. So that's the gist. So what you see me doing a lot of times is just working with the family of Vineyard songwriters and worship leaders around the country, sometimes around the world, writing songs, making records, kind of bringing, the Vineyard is an old version of what Vineyard Worship is songs from the church, little C, for the church, big C.
Yeah.
So we do our best work from songs that come from the soil, songs that come from the local church. So Vineyard Worship is there to foster and encourage that, and kind of take the songs that have that very local story and amplify them for the wider world. So,
So how long have you guys been working together?
Long time.
Very long.
Melisa, so tell us a little bit. What is your role right now?
Right now, so I'm the director of events and project management, so two parts. We, at Vineyard Worship, we talk about we exist to gather, train, document, inspire our worship communities. And so we each kind of take on one of those words, and mine is the gather. So I gather our worship leaders and communities kind of around the country. And for a long time, we've done like a worship leader retreat. We had up to 4 of them around the country. We've since kind of condensed that. We've done one national, and we've got that on pause right now because we've got a new national calendar with Vineyard USA, and we're kind of reworking our systems to be one together and work together. So I do our events for worship leaders. I gather our worship leaders in whatever setting that looks like.
Okay.
And then I do project management. So again, once he's done creative side, I do all the detail side to make sure we've got our artwork and we've got this and that, and it all comes together, and you can listen to it online, and it's all one cohesive package.
Right now.
Yeah.
Listen
All
to it
right.
now.
Yeah. That's playing in the background.
That's right.
That's because
Oh, wow.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I left out the nerdy details. There's lots of little nerdy details in there.
Well,
Oh, we
like
love
the-
the nerd
yes, we do.
details.
Yes.
For sure.
Spreadsheets and all kinds of stuff. Lots of
Okay.
emails.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, and I guess this is a question for both of you. Reset, 30 years ago, where did you think you were going to be? Like in the church, writing worship songs? Was this a surprise? Was this something that God planted in you and you were like, this is what I'm made to do? Or was it something that kind of developed as a response to community and like a reaction of all of that?
It's a great question.
So I'll go.
Yeah,
So I
do
grew
it.
up in the Vineyard, and I grew up around musicians. I grew up around worship people.
Oh, wow.
My dad's a drummer, and he's been on lots of old Vineyard records, and my worship leaders were on a lot of things. And so I kind of grew up just immersed in worship and music, and I've always loved it. And I remember as a teenager, I would go to the Anaheim Vineyard. I would go to actually wherever my dad and their team went to go record. I would always go with them. I wanted to go. I knew that there was something happening. I knew that the Spirit was there. I couldn't quite put words to it, but I knew I wanted to be there. And so I'd always kind of been surrounded by it. And when I went to school for hospitality management, and I knew I wanted to do events.
Yeah.
And my dad goes, "Oh, they do events at Vineyard at the time, Vineyard Music. Well, why don't I see if I can get you an internship?" And I got an internship, and I worked there a while, and then it moved to Texas, and kind of separated. And it's not a very short version, but I remember I was at a phase in my life after I got married when I was looking for a new job.
Yeah.
And searching. And I remember having a passing thought, man, the only job I ever loved was Vineyard Music. And I didn't even pray it. It was just a thought. And the job literally came to me. They found me, "Hey, we hear you're looking for a job. We're going to create a job for you." And I've been here ever since. So I actually do feel it's been a calling.
Yeah.
And it's been just a mixture of all the things I grew up in and seeds that were planted in me. And they've kind of all just come to fruition, through this role that I play.
Yeah. So you basically lived worship.
Yes.
Growing up, that's where you cut your teeth in Vineyard Worship.
But I wasn't a musician until I was into my 20s. And then all those things that were kind of placed in me early on that I didn't know were there kind of all came about. So then I used
That's
that
awesome.
with our organization. And it's been totally the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always prayed. I always thought I had a voice, but I guess apparently it only sounds good to me, very on a low level. But I love worship.
It says make a
love
joyful sound.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Sound.
Ursula.
Yes.
Thank
It's a
you.
joyful sound.
Yes, and so I love what you guys have been doing with Vineyard Music. I mean, I've been around for quite some time, and it's so part of who I am. And even with my kids and our family, I love to even see the next generation doing what they're doing. What else are you guys? Do you have any new projects that are happening? What's going on?
Well, there's always something happening. We just released one of our biggest projects we've done in a long time. We did a live recording at the Evanston Vineyard with our kind of current crop of worship leaders, including some old school folks like David Roos is on the record.
Okay.
It's called This Joy Live.
Okay.
And it's fruit of the last couple years of our songwriters writing, and we occasionally do some songwriting camps and that sort of thing, just to kind of pull people together. Our writers, given that the Vineyard is a church planting movement, we scatter our talent, we don't gather it.
Yeah.
So we have to physically bring people together to get our kind of best people in the same room. But yeah, we're super excited about it. It was a grace-filled project from the beginning. The songs came together so well. The recording was together. The Vineyard Worship it's difficult for Vineyard Worship to really represent. In the U.S., it's 500 and some odd churches. So if you think about what the expression of the Vineyard sounds like now compared to maybe 30 years ago or something like that, and with the increasing diversity in the movement and that sort of thing. So we've been living to try to consolidate what we do into 4 genre universes. Those 4 genres would be modern worship. Another one would be modern gospel. We have a thing called Vineyard Soul. Hispanic, Latin, Spanish, Spanglish. That's how we've been writing songs in actually Spanglish, not just Spanish translations, but songs that are indigenously written in both languages.
That's awesome.
and then Roots Americana. That's kind of a throwback to hippies with acoustic
Okay.
guitars,
Yeah.
and a little bit of the new. That's a current genre as well. And then the fifth one is what we call mixed paint. So mixed paint is our people aren't just in these silos; they're all together. So what is really the sound of Vineyard Worship in the U.S. right now? It's that mixed paint of basically those four worlds, and that's what this. I think this record is our first best effort to explore what it means for the Vineyard to be that kind of mixed paint world of 2023.
Yeah.
So we are here
Yeah.
with Casey and Melisa. I have to ask the question. I'm a young worship leader in the Vineyard organization. How do I
It's a great question. Yeah.
start writing? Like, I feel called, I feel drawn to do this. What are the 1, 2, 3 steps? Are there 1, 2, 3 steps?
Well, I mean,
This is not planned, Joe.
I mean, the first thing is the global songs of the church have very local stories. So the first thing is the first place a songwriter needs to serve is the local church. So
I love it.
yeah, so I mean that's really the end goal. I mean, actually, if it connects their heart to God, that's the real goal.
Yeah.
To bless the Lord is first, but then serving your church, gathering songwriters around you in your local context. Hopefully, we're doing more work like conferences like this, regional conferences to gather and to get to know folks. We say just show up at events. We've got different training events that we do through the years, and we just launched another online training program called Vineyard Worship Essentials. We're in the middle of our second cohort online at the moment.
Okay.
It's online curriculum with Zoom cohorts for 8 weeks. And do you know when the next one is?
Yep, we have a winter and a summer and a fall next year. And the dates are all up on our website, vineyardworship.com/essentials. You get to know what it means to be a vineyard worship leader.
Ooh, I love
Tons
it.
of training, best leaders across the nation, and then you get to be in a cohort with other people from around the country, and it's
And you get
really,
to
really fun.
make some friends and peers. And then, I mean, we've been in the Vineyard a long time. So one of the blessings of being in the Vineyard so long is you come to events like this and you see it's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's like leaning into that family value that the Vineyard has, and instead of trying to try to get a record deal or something along those lines, it's really about participating with the wider family. That's that's really what makes the Vineyard happen.
So if a pastor, a lead pastor, has someone that he's watching, they're fostering a worship leader, that is the place to kind of get
Vineyard
involved.
Essentials.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep.
But plus, we're a small team. But I will say this: that we like to have our ear to the ground and just reach out to us. We're a reasonably small family, and we get a little busy, but we do like to know what's going on.
Sure.
So we don't have eyes and ears everywhere.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, you guys. Yeah. That is so great.
So what are the next for you guys? What can we be praying into? Like vision casting? What are you guys thinking?
With your projects that are going on, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a recording.
The recording coming up at the beginning of November.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then we have an event called Sound Lab. It's for actually sound and tech people and worship people if they want to learn about sound and tech.
Okay.
It's in Houston. It's all levels of training, right? If you know nothing, if you know lots, you should come. It's about community for actually our sound and tech team, which we're all surrounded by right now, but no one can see them.
I know.
They
Can we
make
just put a
things
camera in it?
happen.
Amazing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I would say to every pastor, take care of your sound people and your tech people. Send them to Sound Lab. Give them community. Give
That's
them new friends as well, like we're talking about with worship people. So that's in January. We'd love prayers for that. And then we've got Vineyard Worship Essentials happening all next year that we'd just love to see that grow as well.
Yeah.
I have two final questions as we're wrapping up, but I've been asking everybody, what are you listening to, Melisa, right now? What's your soundtrack?
You know what? It is This Joy, which is playing right now. You probably can't hear it.
Okay.
And also Switchfoot re-released. It's a 20th anniversary of Beautiful Letdown. And I have been listening to that on repeat because they have special guests that I love. And it made it really relevant to people today could listen to it. So I can't stop listening to that right now. The
Casey,
Beautiful Letdown.
What are you listening to right now?
Well, Melisa and I are part of a thing that happens with Vineyard Fullerton. Vineyard Fullerton is a church in Orange County that we have this there's a lot of musicians in the church, and they do these cover nights at a local bar in Fullerton. So the last theme was 60s.
Okay.
So it's like whenever I get in the car, the thing I was listening to the most was the Beatles' "Let It Be" record, because I was learning a song off of it.
All right.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Super.
Yeah.
And the second question that I have, unless Rebecca,
No,
do
you're good. You're good.
How do you take your coffee?
Oh.
Melisa, what is your favorite morning jam?
I don't add anything. I'm a simple girl, just
Really?
black coffee.
Yes,
Yep.
you and Ryan from last night, also a black coffee drinker.
Well, I worked at Starbucks a long time ago.
Okay.
And I never drank coffee before then. And people come in and say, I want this and I want that and I want this. And I'm like, if you're going to enjoy it, shouldn't you just enjoy it for what it is and the simplicity of what
I
it is?
just can't.
So I was determined to make myself drink straight black coffee, and that's what I do.
Wow. That's impressive. That's
Too much information, sorry.
No, that is
that's
awesome.
OG right there.
No,
That's what
that
I
is-
feel.
Yeah, I
Casey?
can't do black coffee at all. I tried.
I am exactly the same.
Oh,
So I can be a snob about a lot of things.
Sure.
And for coffee, I just decided, like, I'm not going to mess around and just give me a black cup of coffee. It's cheap.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is
Yeah.
inexpensive.
It is. It's got to be a little easier too,
It's
because when
simple.
you're traveling a lot, you don't know what's going to be available, what
Right.
milk, what sugar, all of that, and just keeping it simple.
And you
good.
need the caffeine. You
Yes.
just need the
Simple.
caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it simple.
Yeah, it does. It does
Rebecca,
help.
I didn't ask you. What is your...
Oh, I am cream and sugar. And I forced myself because I used to like the fancy stuff in the. I like a lot of
Pumpkin
cream with my
spice.
coffee. No, I'm not that. I am just
good.
half and half
Because
in my
we
little.
can't be friends.
Yeah.
If
Oh.
that's the case.
Oh, we can't. No pumpkin.
No,
I like
pumpkin
pumpkins.
I like pumpkin.
I love this fall season, especially here in Tehachapi right now. It's such beautiful weather.
No, it is
outside, and
beautiful
it's
weather. And
fallish.
pumpkin does have its place, but I don't know that it's in coffee.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The candle, or just keep it there.
For sure, for
Okay.
sure. I like a French press. I put a little clove and cinnamon in it, but that's just because I'm super
Ooh,
particular.
that actually sounds really good.
It is so good, you guys.
Yeah.
And that when you press the lever going down, you know.
Oh, French press?
Oh,
Yeah.
that. I feel like every care in the world goes away as you're pushing it down.
Okay. Same when I push the button on the brew.
Jesus be the center, right?
Are you guys pour over
Love it.
coffee?
I love pour over. Yeah.
You do?
I
I don't
drink
do it
all.
because it's too much.
It's too much
It is
work.
so
I
much
know.
work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yes.
Just need my coffee in the morning.
Just push the button.
I
and
like to
it
drink them. I don't like to make them.
No.
Yes.
Same.
No,
I'm so sorry. Yeah, we got a little distracted. What a beautiful conversation with Casey and Melisa.
Hey,
you
thanks.
guys,
It was
thank
very
you
nice of you.
for being with us.
we were selective, Casey. We filtered ourselves for you today.
Hey, thank you very
you're
much.
welcome. With love, just love, right?
And I just want to, first off, I just want to say, Lope's in the house.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
you're welcome.
Palmdale,
no.
come back to me.
For the record, I did
Edited.
not go to either of those
No.
schools, but
No,
we said
Melisa was
I
a
didn't.
Valley girl.
No
Yeah.
more
Yes,
rats and
tell
no
us-
more
tell 'em where
roaches
you
living
went
next
to
door to
school.
football coaches.
I went to school
Wow.
on the Cal Poly Pomona
Palmdale.
campus. There's a high school now, and I
Yeah.
was one of the guinea pigs that helped start that high school.
That is awesome. We don't have a song apparently like Casey does, but you know that's all
Pomona
right.
doesn't have
I
a
could
have
sing
an
the
Afro
alma
Man song.
mater if no.
Wow.
Okay. Anyway, so
We're just-
we're gonna head back, and next thing you see is gonna happen is gonna be worship, and we're gonna be again 20 minutes early tomorrow morning. So if
Yep.
you're joining us online, remember that you are seen and that you are loved, and that we're so happy and excited that you're with us, and hope that you'll come back. So we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, you
Right.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, you guys. So good.